On August 19th, 2024, Chappell Roan posted 2 TikTok videos that struck a nerve with fans. The pop star, who experienced a meteoric rise in the span of just a few months, was complaining about the creepy behavior of fans who approach her in public.
I don't care that this crazy type of behavior comes along with the job, the career field I've chosen. That does not make it okay. That doesn't make it normal. It doesn't mean I want it. It doesn't mean that I like it. I don't want whatever the fuck you think you're supposed to be entitled to whenever you see a celebrity. I don't give a fuck if you think it's selfish of me to say no for a photo or for your time or for a hug. That's not normal. That's weird. It's weird how people think that you know a person just because you see them online or you listen to the art they make. That's fucking weird. I'm allowed to say no to creepy behavior, okay?
A few weeks later, Chappell caused another stir when she called her fans out again on TikTok for their disappointment that she wouldn't endorse a US presidential candidate in a new interview with The Guardian.
I have encouraged people to use critical thinking skills, learn about what they're voting for, learn about who they're voting for, and ask questions.
Again, Chappell received a wave of backlash for her approach in addressing the issue. Though Chappell had spoken out about her experiences with entitled fans in previous interviews, these times were different. Rather than using a podcast host or a journalist to filter the message, Chappell used TikTok to speak directly to her fans, something that more and more celebrities are expected to do to serve their personal brands. But over the years, just like with Chappell, we've seen the consequences of these expectations backfire. Chappell faced even more criticism for her delivery on TikTok than her initial statements in the interview, pushing her to the point of announcing a social media hiatus. This is a look at the plight of celebrity access, how social media has changed the business of celebrity brand building, keeping stars in a lose-lose feedback loop that fuels fan entitlement and ultimately runs most of our favorite artists offline almost completely. From Centennial World, I'm Lauren Meisner, and this is Infinite Scroll, a podcast about internet culture, the creator economy, and how social media is shaping Gen Z. Welcome back to Infinite Scroll, everyone. Thank you guys for bearing with me with the Q&A last week. I think some of you guys appreciated it, especially our newer listeners here, Maybe you didn't know as much about my lore as some others did, so now hopefully you know a bit more. But I am so excited to be bringing you guys a new deep dive today, but before we get into it, as always, please remember to rate, review, and subscribe. It helps me so much. It helps us grow. We are now available on Spotify video, so if you guys prefer to watch us, you can watch on YouTube as always and on Spotify now, which is really exciting. Please subscribe on Spotify or at least give us a rating. We are trying to get boosted in the algorithm and reach 500 Spotify ratings specifically. And please sign up to our newsletter, which is called Infinite Scroll. On Fridays, we round up the 5 biggest think pieces on the internet from that week. Okay, I have a couple of reviews to read for you guys. The first review is from SillyGirl123 in Switzerland. She says, amazing. I've been listening to the pod for a few months now, and it's really good. I love the way the stories are told currently. I've really been invested in the Mr. Beast drama with Dog Pack and stuff. Thanks for being the background sound when I'm cleaning. Oh my God. I feel like there is new Mr. Beast drama every single day. Maybe I'll do an update on everything that I haven't covered in the last week or two this week on Mini. And Rita Seeker from Canada says, love this podcast. Thanks for all the work you put in. Always recommend it to people. Thank you. Recommending is so helpful, like word of mouth. That is how most people find podcasts, allegedly, according to the research. It means so much when you guys recommend the pod to your friends and family. Please keep doing it. And Charlotte on Spotify said, thank you, Lauren, for another incredible commentary. This is one of my favorite podcasts. Thank you so much for putting so much time into your uploads. Thank you, Charlotte. And thank you to my team who makes it all possible, genuinely, Annabelle and Danny. Long before Pop Crave and Pop Base were battling it out for the best pop culture update account on X, celebrity enthusiasts had to turn to magazines and interviews for the latest updates. But things have clearly changed since then. With social media and dedicated accounts tracking celebrities' every move, along with many public figures managing their own platforms, we now have unprecedented access to their thoughts, actions, and projects in real time. This access is a double-edged sword. It fuels celebrity status and helps build loyalty loyal fan bases, but it's also incredibly invasive. That being said, prying into the personal lives of public figures was a common practice long before the social media era. Before Instagram and TikTok took over, celebrity culture was driven by gossip magazines, paparazzi, and tabloids packed with scandalous and sensationalized stories. Through the 90s and early 2000s, celebrities relied on these outlets for visibility, though the attention was often uncomfortable. TMZ, Just Jared, and Perez Hilton, all which launched in 2005, would relentlessly cover celebrities' personal lives, from relationships to rumors. Perez Hilton, in particular, became infamous for posting paparazzi shots with his own captions and doodles. Though these mediums weren't always accurate, they kept people hooked on celebrity drama and were among the quickest ways to follow the lives of Hollywood's elite. In a piece for Vanity Fair from 1999, David Camp explores why people became obsessed with tabloids through the 90s, focusing on American media and population. From his perspective, the tabloidification of the media was rather unexpected. Quote, at the close of the previous decade, there was a loose consensus that the 1990s were going to be a reaction to the 1980s, which is to say a reaction against materialism, merger mania, and crassness, a sort of new, sanitized 1960s, where one worldism and spirituality would reign, minus the hard drugs and free love, Camp writes. However, it was the advanced technology and increased vulgarity of the 90s culture that led media and celebrity culture down a different path, where tabloids started to dominate this era. Quote, it's the dance between these factors and downloadable and the down and dirty that has led to the tabloid decade's particularly explicit brand of tabloidism, Camp continues. Quote, this combination, more media outlets and more vulgarity, created a harsh, logaric early 1990s landscape where the competition for television viewers, not to mention newspaper readers and radio listeners, were unprecedentedly fierce. The tabloid decade, carried through the 2000s, only became more unhinged. Over the years, celebrities, women more often than men, were trapped in a harsh media cycle, shaped by the cutthroat culture of the previous decade. From Britney Spears' breakdown, where paparazzi relentlessly pursued her during her mental health struggles, to Lindsay Lohan's battle with addiction and arrests, it was clear gossip magazines and the media were profiting off these deeply personal and often demoralizing stories. By the end of the decade, as Anne Helen Peterson writes for BuzzFeed News, celebrities were largely beholden to paparazzi and gossip blogs. Quote, celebrities were forced to remain vigilant in how and when they appeared in public, terrified that a snippet of unflattering, unbecoming, or straight-up scandalous footage would make its way to TMZ, she explains. Publicists and marketers were pressured to step in as paparazzi and gossip blogs gained influence, without the journalistic integrity or ethical boundaries of traditional outlets. This led to increased collaboration between celebrities, their teams, and established media outlets like People and Entertainment Tonight. As Peterson explains, they worked together to combat the narratives coming from these sources outside the traditional Hollywood machine. The result, however, was probably not exactly what they were looking for. Quote, the celebrities didn't vanquish the paparazzi so much as figure out how to undercut them, and the publications they fueled. In the end, the solution was so straightforward. Celebrities simply became their own paparazzi, posting all manner of details and footage of their daily lives on social media, and effectively putting real paparazzi out of business, Peterson adds. That's not to say these old school sources of celebrity news have disappeared. They're just less effective now. One major reason they're less impactful is that the way we engage with celebrities has changed dramatically, largely thanks to social media and fandom culture. Twitter is a key example here. Before Elon Musk took over and tanked the platform, it was huge for stan culture. We've already covered stan culture in detail, most recently in our Rise of the Gen Z Pop Girlies episode, so check that out if you missed it. But for anyone unfamiliar with stan Twitter, it peaked in the 2010s and was full of hardcore fans or stans deeply committed to their faves, building entire communities around celebrities. It was a space where fandoms connected with these celebrities, shared inside jokes, and fiercely rallied for award show wins. Some of the most prolific fandoms during this era included the Swifties, Beliebers, Directioners, and the BTS Army. Celebrities like Justin Bieber, Taylor Swift, Lady Gaga, and Ariana Grande not only tweeted at their fans, but also engaged in full-blown conversations, both in public mentions and private DMs. Justin in particular became known for his Twitter presence, following around 270,000 people, many of whom were fans. Early in his career, he would regularly go on follow sprees and respond to fan tweets with jokes or words of appreciation, building a close connection with his audience. This was an entirely new level of access to celebrities. Fans could now essentially have conversations with public figures in real time. No longer did people have to rely on secondary sources like gossip blogs and paparazzi pictures. They could get updates directly from the celebrities themselves and essentially ask them anything they wanted. This connection only deepened in 2015 when Twitter rolled out an update allowing users to send direct messages to celebrities even if they weren't mutuals. Before that, DMs were only possible between accounts that followed each other. So when this change dropped, it became another way for the general public to access celebrities. Now, this kind of interaction is standard across most social media platforms, with users able to DM celebrities on Instagram and TikTok, even though usually they must accept message requests. While it's unlikely that public figures will actually see these messages, the concept was game-changing and pushed parasocial relationships to unprecedented levels. That is, until TikTok came along. We've talked about this a lot on this podcast, but TikTok and the parasocial relationships it fosters have seriously altered how we interact with celebrities. The rise of TikTok coincided with the onset of the pandemic and worldwide lockdowns. Some people were on the front lines as essential workers, some people were trying to work from home in tiny apartments with roommates, and some people were trying to juggle full-time work while also supporting their children's full-time Zoom school. During this time, celebrities started showing up on social media more frequently. This led to a few instances where the disparity between regular people and the celebrity class became more apparent than ever. Gal Gadot's Imagine video, which will be seared in our memories forever, Imagine there's no heaven, is case in point. The actress enlisted a dozen or so of her A-list friends to sing Imagine by John Lennon into their phones as a gesture of solidarity for their fans. The video faced intense backlash, given these celebrities were singing to us from the safety of their mansions, privileged enough to take these months at home as downtime. Then there were the Instagram Lives. Unable to entertain us from TV or film, celebrities took to Instagram Live during lockdowns to stay connected with their fans. Again, this trend felt out of touch and self-serving. No one wanted to watch two millionaire A-listers interview each other on their phones as they sat safely in their mansions. There are many other examples of weird things that celebrities did during lockdown, but the gist of it is that we were burnt out and desperate to connect with people we could actually relate to. And so, we flocked to TikTok. At the start, TikTok genuinely was regular people filming in regular spaces, showing their regular lives. It was an online space that was pretty much free of celebrities, except for Jason Derulo, and in turn, it birthed an entirely new form of internet fame. But as TikTok's user base grew and its influence started to rival that of YouTube and Instagram, Hollywood realized the power of showing a more relatable side to the celebrity brand, forcing an otherwise old-school industry to rethink its traditional promotional strategies. While social media has been important to the celebrity brand for over a decade, the unprecedented rise of TikTok has turned posting on social media into a non-negotiable for budding stars. Now, social media has become the way to legitimize celebrity branding, build a fandom, and secure brand deals. And a lot of that work is left to the celebrities to figure out themselves. As artist and producer Mike Barnett told journalist Ali Dever, quote, "Record labels used to be far more involved in the development and promotion of artists. Social media has allowed them to pass the buck and put much of the burden of promotion onto the artists themselves. Most labels, major or indie, won't even think about signing an artist who doesn't already have big numbers on their social and streaming platforms." This expectation to show up on social media extends to established celebrities now as well. In 2022, Halsey spoke out about her record label trying to force a viral TikTok moment for her music. Basically, I have a song that I love, that I want to release ASAP, but my record label won't let me. I've been in this industry for 8 years and I've sold over 165 million records, and my record company is saying that I can't release it unless they can fake a viral moment on TikTok. Everything is marketing, and they are doing this to basically every artist these days. I just want to release music, man, and I deserve better, to be honest. I'm tired. It's not just executives that expect celebrities to show up online. The business of celebrity is expensive, And for many next-gen artists, actors, and models, securing brand deals is imperative to being able to afford to continue pursuing their career. In a 2022 interview with The Hollywood Reporter, A-list actress Sydney Sweeney explained how the industry has changed and why she needs to align herself with brand sponsorships to continue acting. Quote, "They don't pay actors like they used to, and with streamers, you no longer get residuals. The established stars still get paid, but I have to give 5% to my lawyer, 10% to my agents, 3% or something like that to my business manager. I have to pay my publicist every month, and that's more than my mortgage." It's not that she wants people to feel badly for her, but she is adamant that the luxuries of the job not gloss over the realities of the business. To stay relevant as a young actress, particularly so deeply entrenched in and reliant on the internet generation, requires investment. There's a lot of press to do, and the associated costs, styling, tailoring, hair and makeup, travel, aren't always covered by a network. She says this is what motivated her to pivot into brand deals, taking gigs as a Miu Miu ambassador and starring in an Armani beauty campaign. "If I just acted, I wouldn't be able to afford my life in LA. I take deals because I have to," quote. To secure those brand deals, you need an engaged fan base. And for Gen Z stars like Chappell Roan, Olivia Rodrigo, and Tate McRae, TikTok is the most natural place to nurture parasocial relationships with their fans. A 2023 study by Jan Klosterman, Martin Meisner, Alexander Max, and Reinhold Decker verified the importance of parasocial relationships to a celebrity's bottom line. Through their research, they found that social media popularity is a, quote, "key objective for many celebrities as brand endorsements have become a major source of their income." When looking at the best way to show up on social media to foster these parasocial relationships that could lead to lucrative brand deals, they noted an optimum when around 60% of a celebrity's posts showed private moments. From their sample, they found that most celebrities post a mean share of 37% private posts, which they say indicates that most celebrities still share too much content related to their professional careers. So it's clear that giving fans access to their personal lives via social media is a strategy that a lot of celebrities, particularly younger celebrities, adopt to build an engaged fan base that will ultimately ensure their professional success, as well as secure their financial success. But this strategy doesn't come without its consequences. While social media gives celebrities more control over what they share about themselves, it also commodifies their personal life like never before. Over the years, many influencers and celebrities have spoken out about how giving fans increased access to their lives via social media takes a toll on their mental and physical health. Before social media, as I mentioned earlier, celebrities showed their fans glimpses of their personal lives through sometimes staged paparazzi shoots and magazine or talk show interviews. While paparazzi culture was undoubtedly out of control during this era, the celebrities' energy exchange was with the system or the broader organization of Hollywood, not with their fans directly. There was still a boundary between the celebrity and their fandom. Fans did not expect celebrities to be in the public eye all the time. They did not expect to see their favorite artist, actress, or socialite as frequently, nor did they expect to interact with them really ever unless the fan had paid money to see them at some type of event or performance. Social media has completely flipped this on its head. Over the past decade, celebrities have been expected to actively promote their own personal brand on social media year-round. Otherwise, they risk losing relevance online and thus income opportunities. And when you consider the scale of some of these personal brands, it's no wonder that being expected to perform for fans on social media day in and day out, where every single post ignites a wave of feedback from millions of random people online, could be taxing on a star's mental and physical health. Take Selena Gomez, for example. Since rising to fame as a child actress, Selena has been very open about her mental health struggles. In 2016, Selena suddenly pulled out of her worldwide revival tour, citing anxiety and depression due to health issues. In April 2020, she revealed she had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder. She later told Rolling Stone she suffered with suicidal ideation and had been to 4 treatment centers. In 2022, her documentary My Mind and Me was released, which documented her mental health journey over 6 years. Through all of this, Selena has not shied away from discussing the impact that social media specifically has played on her mental state. As journalist Lucy Feldman wrote for Time magazine in a May 2024 profile of the star, quote, Gomez often laments the impact of social media on her own health and encourages others to get offline. She has declared at least 5 times since 2018 that she's taking a break from Instagram, where her current follower count is 427 million. An assistant maintained her accounts for 4 years. She's back to posting most of her content herself now, which includes promo for Rare Beauty and her film and TV projects, but she tries not to linger on the apps. Quote, I know what people can do to people I love, Selena told Feldman. My own fans, who I adore and feel like have shaped who I am, will say the most hurtful things to me about how I live my life. Other stars have echoed similar sentiments, like the D'Amelio sisters, who have been 2 of TikTok's most followed creators for years. While not traditional celebrities in relation to who we've discussed so far in this episode, the D'Amelios can be seen as a cautionary tale for what can happen to public figures when showing up online is their primary key to relevance. Charli D'Amelio became famous practically overnight after going viral on TikTok in 2019. Her sister Dixie made an account after Charli hit 1 million followers. Together, the sisters amassed hundreds of millions of social media followers within 18 months of Charli's first viral video. Given their massive influence, Charli and Dixie were tapped for tons of projects right away, including a Kardashian-esque reality show about their family called The D'Amelio Show. When season 1 of The D'Amelio Show aired in 2021, fans were shocked to see just how poorly Charli and Dixie were really doing. Quote, tea pages and negative comments and checking who's talking about me every day has a big part of my anxiety, Dixie shared in the premiere. I do try to hide those feelings by putting out a strong face, but I do get very upset. The majority of the season focused on the sisters' deteriorating mental health due to their social media fame. In one scene, Dixie had a full-blown meltdown as she screamed through gasps of air with tears streaming down her face.
Everyone just picks apart every single thing I say and do and the way I look, and I went to the gym.
She later said it's hard to get past feelings of wanting to die because of how mean people can be online.
Getting through the moments of everyone hates me and I want to die is challenging.
1 year after the first season aired, Charli opened up about her own mental health journey, telling People magazine in 2022 that she had to stop looking at social media comments. Quote, for me specifically, I don't know about everybody else, but I don't really look at that stuff anymore, Charli said. Obviously, every day's different, and sometimes we're going to get down and upset, but I think it's definitely to a less extreme. But we also see that on social media, how it affected us in real time, she said. In the years since that interview, both Charli and Dixie have pulled back from social media even more, posting much less frequently and rarely ever engaging with their fans in the comments. Chappell Roan, the star on everyone's lips these days, seems to be facing a similar dilemma. Should she continue using social media as a vessel to communicate with fans, or should she use it for strictly professional purposes? As a Gen Z pop star, Chappell has used TikTok to promote her music and shared tidbits of her personal life over the years. However, as her star has risen in recent months, the scrutiny that comes with posting authentically online is becoming too much. After posting several videos where she expressed feeling frustrated with how audiences behave toward her, misunderstand her, and twist her words, Chappell announced in September that she would be taking some time off, as everything had just become too overwhelming. Just before this announcement, Chappell told The Face that she was thinking about quitting the music industry due to harassment from fans. Quote, this industry and artistry fucking thrive on mental illness, burnout, overworking yourself, overextending yourself, not sleeping. You get bigger, the more unhealthy you are. Isn't that so fucked up? The ambition is, how do I not hate myself, my job, my life, and do this? Because right now, it's not working. I'm just scrambling to try to feel healthy. Charli XCX, Ariana Grande, and Doja Cat are all pop stars who have also called out their own fans for entitled behavior lately. Social media and the access it has granted fans is like a lose-lose feedback loop for the celebrity. Hollywood's expectations of celebrities to build their fan bases and personal brands online fuels fan expectations that these celebrities should always be available to us, even when they aren't actively promoting a professional project. In turn, these fan expectations fuel what Hollywood expects from the celebrity, requiring them to frequently show up online and interact with their audience. Unfortunately, this expectation that celebrities should be accessible to their fans 24/7 also extends beyond social media. In that same interview with The Face, Chappell detailed a recent experience she had at the airport. Quote, I get out of the car, it's 5:30 in the morning, and there's two guys waiting with a bunch of posters and shit for me to sign. I know they're not fans. I said no. I was like, I don't sign anything at the airport, I'm sorry. One of them follows me to the TSA line, starts yelling at me, and everyone just turns and looks. He's like, you should really humble yourself. Do you know where you are right now? Don't forget where you came from. I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? I told myself if this ever gets dangerous, I might quit. It's dangerous now and I'm still going, but that part is not what I signed up for. Chappell's openness about her experience with fame has been highly debated in recent weeks. Many people online are proud of the 26-year-old for setting boundaries and speaking out against a system that has exploited and commodified young women for decades. Quote, really the anger at Roan reflects our own anxieties, writes Lewis Staples for Harper's Bazaar. Fame is probably the only thing more idealized in Western culture than money. And now that the influencer era has democratized fame more than ever, being famous for being yourself feels tantalizing within reach for anyone who has a smartphone. Maybe this makes some of us even more angry with Roan. We don't know her or what her experiences are, but we do know that she seems ungrateful for something we've been programmed to covet above all else. Not only is she questioning our value system, she's also shattering our fantasy. Others, on the other hand, feel like Chappell's experiences are just part of the deal when you chase fame. And while there's no denying that celebrities are afforded a lifestyle that almost none of us will ever achieve, and there's also no denying that any job that pays millions of dollars a year will be incredibly demanding with little personal time off, the through line in so many celebrity gripes is not the job itself, but the non-stop 24/7 online feedback and fan interaction that they're expected to partake in. And there's only so much feedback that a single person can process before they burn out and shut down, which is what leads to so many of our favorite celebrities to pull back from social media completely. Taylor Swift is perhaps one of the most extreme examples of this. Before becoming arguably the most famous pop star in the world, Taylor was an aspiring artist who built her fandom online. In 2005, Taylor joined MySpace, one day before her then label Big Machine Records was inaugurated. Much like budding artists are expected to do today, Taylor used social media, like Tumblr and MySpace, to market her music and connect with listeners. Scott Borchetta, the founder of Big Machine, used her popularity online to convince country radio stations to play her music. Journalist Laura Kelly for The Atlantic Daily wrote that Taylor understood, quote, the power of the group experience, where she put herself in the same figurative friendship group as her fans to build that parasocial relationship. She would use social media to identify superfans and send them gifts, reply to them, hand-select them for meet and greets, and in the early days, Taylor would also stalk them on social media, which her fans dubbed Taylorking. Of course, she also used social media to drop Easter eggs and build an entire universe filled with lore that strengthened the Swiftie fanbase. Over the years, however, Taylor's relationship with social media and fame has changed. She's noticeably pulled back on posting content about her personal life and rarely interacts, at least publicly, with her fandom online, bar a TikTok like or comment here and there. She's also written many lyrics, especially in recent years, speaking to the golden handcuffs of fame and success and how these have driven her mad. Now, this shift in Taylor's social media behavior was inevitable for a few reasons. As Taylor's fan base grew and became increasingly devoted, she didn't need to be as accessible to fans. Plus, her safety would have also become an even bigger concern. Her rising fame also coincided with her growing up, and with that, possibly gaining perspective on the importance of privacy, especially as she navigated serious relationships and bigger career moments. But one of the biggest catalysts for this shift in Taylor's social media behavior was her 2016 quote-unquote cancellation when Kim Kardashian and Kanye West leaked that notorious private phone call between Taylor and Kanye. In leaking this, they insinuated that Taylor's public underdog persona was an act. During that time, it felt like the entire internet, including some of her most die-hard fans, turned on Taylor. Her social media was flooded with snake emojis, and she was not heard from or seen for an entire year. When she returned to promote her Reputation album, she had wiped her accounts clean, marking a turn in her relationship with social media and online fan interaction. We saw echoes of this same narrative in 2022 after Selena Gomez's My Mind and Me documentary was released. And now we're seeing the story arc again in 2024 with Chappell Roan. The public reaches a breaking point with these women at their apex, quick to turn on the pop stars when they step outside the boundaries of their careful and curated public images and show a more frank side of the celebrity experience. And that's just it. The celebrities that we form parasocial relationships with really are just curated personal brands that have been served to us with an end goal: to sell more music, to sell more concert tickets, and to secure more brand deals. That's not to say that their art isn't impactful, their music isn't true, or that elements of this personal brand don't reflect who the celebrity is at their core. But as social media, particularly TikTok, has granted us unprecedented access to our favorite stars, this access has strengthened our parasocial relationships and convinced us that we, the fans, know these people, their behaviors, and their beliefs better than they know themselves. Infinite Scroll is a podcast produced, presented, researched, and written by me, Lauren Meisner, for Centennial World. This episode was researched and co-written by Annabelle Ben-David. Editing is by Danny Fennick. Thank you guys so much for listening. I love you guys, and I will talk to you next week. Bye.